So based on your presentation and then based on our work and our experience, I'll try to share some of the things that related to its presentation and as well as what exactly the regional or local perspective, what our engineers need to think in the future related to the hazard, exposure and the vulnerability. So while talking about those things, maybe he tried to difference between hazard, exposure and vulnerability. Nowadays, while defining the risks, the another terminology like the resilience capacity also now people use to spell. So as per my understanding, several students and the researchers, they are trying to use those hazard, exposure and vulnerability, but exactly if we ask in depth, sometimes they mismatch those things. And the BGC team today, they maybe completely make understandable what exactly the difference with the examples. So maybe everyone from this hall, maybe already they know about those things and maybe some they don't know about those terminology in depth. Maybe they got the chances. So another thing he tried to explain about the while calculating or while estimating the risks, we need to think two major parts. One is the probability of failure and another one is the consequences of failure. So while if you look at this picture also, you can see if the consequences of failure is high and the probability of failure is also high, you can get the risk matrix value is high. So we need to take care of those values. So that's why we need to think how those probability of failure will impact our structures, our physical infrastructure, or other component that need to be take care. So what I tried to explain from this figure, not only in the geohazard perspective, in several structures like for example, while planning the asset, preparing the asset management plan also, which asset need to be kept, which asset need to be maintained first, that kind of things also can be done by calculating the risk factor. So the application of those risks is very important, not only in geohazard, but in other perspectives also. That things I want to mention here. So what he also tried to give us the weightage for the different component. While calculating the risks, maybe we need to on the site condition. That's why while calculating the risks, it should be site specific. The key messages he tried to mention. And another thing is the prioritization of risks. While calculating the risks, we need to know about the exactly which critical infrastructure need to be maintained first or which critical infrastructure need to be protected first. That things come from the prioritization. So another thing he also mentioned about the multiple criteria decision making. So multiple criteria decision making things is very important. It should be cost effective. So while calculating those things, we need to take care of life cycle cost. As well as nowadays the things are coming like this: risk based, cost effective, certain plan or something. So now we need to take care two things: risk based and cost effective. So recently we have presented one paper related to risk based, cost effective asset management plan for irrigation systems like this. For other infrastructures also, we need to think on those issues. Based on those things, we need to prepare mitigation or management strategies or framework by reducing not a risk. We need to reduce what? Individual component, like reducing hazard, reducing exposure, reducing vulnerability, and increasing the resilience capacity. So that maybe from today's presentation, most of the things are concentrated within this those periphery. So I have assigned with the, let's come with some local perspective or regional perspective. That's why I'm trying to explain with the maybe well-known figures. Last year, first GeoBandu, I have presented the same figure. So today also, I'll try to show this figure. This is related to the 3CD. That means the cascading, compounding, and complex disaster. Now we are facing cascading, compounding, and complex disaster like we faced in Melanchi. So if you look at this figure, we have our region, basically in South Asia region, we have high Himalaya, mid mountain, and the Tarai regions. So we have snow-capped area at the high Himalaya, we have agricultural land and major critical infrastructure in mid mountain, and we have agricultural land and then food basket, and the Tarai regions. So we have what happened, if something happened at the mountain region, it will have the cascading and compounding effect. For example, if landslide happens, maybe it may block, and then landslide dam outburst flood will maybe happen, that kind of things. So we need to think, we need to take care. Due to the LDO globe, we may have the river aggregation and degradation, and we may get a similar kind of disaster like we held in 2021 in Melanchi. So those are individual but interacting. We have cascading, compounding, and the complex also, how to deal with. So that's why we don't have the unique solution. So it will be site specific. As Keshav mentioned in his presentation, we cannot say that this is the blueprint solution for this kind of problem. So we are also learning. So many researchers and scientists are now learning, basically related to those kind of geohazard and those kind of cascading, compounding, and complex disaster. So we can see from this figure also, we have different disasters happening from 2012 to 2021. We try to give some examples. So in some case, earthquake may be the primary triggering factor, and some may be landslide may be the triggering factor. So that's why we need to know about the triggering factor and their scale of impact, and what could be the possible solution. If you know the problem, as he mentioned, at first we need to know the identification of the problem. That's why what I want to say for all basically from these regions, Himalaya regions, researchers, we need to take care of those cascading, compounding, and complex disaster, and think about the citizen science approach to deal with those issues, because we don't have lot of money. So we need to take several information from the citizens that are residing in the problematic area. So we can engage them as a citizen scientist to collect data, to interpret data, and only we can go for the mitigations with low cost. That's why the citizen science approach should be promoted for the disaster management. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much. If you have any queries, please.